Hey, Aaron, you ready for some jokes?
I'm ready.
All right. What did 50 Cent say on National Ice Cream Day?
I don't know.
Go shawty, it's your birthday.
I don't
Sherbert.
That's terrible. Did
Oh
you make
my
that up?
God. No, I'm reading this off of a web page. What's Adele's favorite dessert?
I don't know.
Jello from the other side.
Okay, that's a little better. At least I get that one.
All right, last one.
All right.
What's a foodie's favorite book?
I don't know.
The Lunchback of Notre Dame.
Boo.
Ha, ha.
Boo, get off the stage.
Yeah, that's right. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Weekendology Podcast. We're back again. We've rallied to serve up some fresh new content in this week's brand new episode. We're the only podcast with the hottest takes, the best talking points, and the stories to spark your weekend conversations.
Spark it like an oven.
Spark it like an oven, like a fire, a fiery wood-grilled fire with smoke and heat and
A fiery
wood-grilled
wood-grilled fire.
fire. Exactly. You like that word imagery?
Beautiful. I can just picture it.
I saw an
Makes me
ad
feel
on
warm inside.
YouTube for masterclass of creative writing or whatever, and they were like Judd Apatow or something, and they were like, "This is how you do comedy and writing, and you have to use word
This is how you
symbolism
are
and
funny."
imagery and all that kind of stuff." So,
So, was he teaching you how to be funny?
he was trying to, but
Oof.
I mean, you know,
The people that just
Didn't really
could think,
like it.
"Ooh, I could be a stand-up comedian." I just could watch a YouTube video.
yeah,
because you can
exactly.
learn anything off YouTube.
His
like being
masterclass
funny.
is literally like, I don't know, $400 or like hundreds of dollars, and you watch, and it's like 30 minutes or something.
That sounds like the biggest scam in the
It
world.
is a huge scam. It's terrible.
Hey, I have an idea. If you just get Seth Rogen and Craig Robinson and Jonah Hill and Kenny Powers and put them all in a room, then there you go. That's how you
That's how you do it. The
That's
only
how he's funny.
masterclass I would
He
ever
gets those guys together and makes a movie.
the only
Every single movie.
masterclass I would ever consider buying would be the Gordon Ramsay one, because it teaches you
You
a
love
actual
Gordon
valuable
Ramsay.
skill, and I love Gordon Ramsay. So
What are
it's
you?
Awesome. An idiot sandwich.
all
Thanks
I know.
everybody for joining us on another episode, though. We're a podcast where we talk about music, movies, sports, and more related to media, and we give our takes and how we can change and improve them. So I'm Will Deichley, your host, alongside the big guy himself, Aaron Berg.
That's me.
So if you're new to the show, welcome. If you're returning back, return listener, then welcome back. So before we kick off, I want to give a quick shout out to Colin Kessler and Big Red World. They're a big podcast publishing network. They do some amazing podcasts, so go check them out on Twitter at Big Red Social, and their website is bigredworld.org. So be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at Weekendology Pod, and wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to hear coming up in the next couple weeks. We got some cool episodes planned for you, so give us a shout out. We're on Apple, Spotify, everywhere that you listen to podcasts. So, Aaron, how's your week been so far?
It's been all right.
Yeah,
it's kind of boring.
Kind of the grind.
The excitement of New Year's is gone, so it's kind of that weird time where, there's no holidays. We're still a ways away from Valentine's Day, and we're just kind of in this like no man's land of life's back to being boring. It's like the hangover from the holiday season.
Oh God, that's the worst. And you're back to the grind, and it's January, and this is my first January in Dallas, so I'm still getting used to the weather. Like yesterday was 75 degrees, and today it was like super cold,
It's like
and
St.
rainy,
Louis, though.
and well,
It's like
I'm used
more
to,
extreme St. Louis.
I'm used to having like snow on the ground in January, or it being like bitter cold, like 20 degrees.
Yeah, you just get rain on the ground now.
Yeah.
Even though in Texas, for those of you that aren't in Texas and they say it doesn't rain here, that's the biggest lie in the world. I've been here almost 5 years, and it rains like crazy every single year. So,
Well, I don't mind the rain. I like it. I just think it's just different for me to be like 70, 50, like anywhere from 50 to 60 degrees consistently instead of 25 degrees.
it'll go up. Yeah, I'll go up 20 degrees in a couple hours.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do I dress?
Aaron and I have the same job, so like we kind of go through the same struggles of doing the same stuff and the same monotonous grind, and it is what it is. So I hope everyone's having a good January so far. Start to the new year, to the decade.
Better weather
than us. But I think we've got a cool episode planned for you guys today. If you didn't guess already, for the great puns and jokes in the beginning and talk of masterclass from Gordon Ramsay, we're talking about food today, Aaron.
Woo! I'm glad
food.
Because I feel like every time you'd start and say we talk about media and sports and music and food, and we never had a food one. So I was wondering,
got a food one
when
now.
are we going to get? This is are we up to episode 20 now?
This is episode 19.
19. So
and next week
finally
will
got it in
be 20. So wow, incredible.
Nice.
We took a couple weeks off for holidays and hiatuses. Or
we've pretty much covered everything at this point.
We've got a lot of stuff, yeah.
Man.
So check us out on our last couple episodes. We've delved into a lot of different music stuff. We've interviewed some Playboy models. We've come a long way in a short amount of time.
We have. Shout out Allie Rose and Talia Paris.
Yeah, for two
and everyone
dudes
else we had on too. They
starting a
count too.
podcast, like I don't know. I think we've done a pretty good job so far, and it's been a lot
making
of fun.
strides.
So, we're excited to keep going and pushing the boundaries, breaking the status quo,
pushing the
boundaries,
just pushing the envelope every episode.
Exactly, yeah. Calling people out, calling Donald Trump out, calling Tim Legler out. Who else do we call out?
We could call out some chefs today.
Michael Wilbon. Hey, let's call out some chefs.
Let's
today.
do it, and then come on the podcast and defend
it.
yourself.
Let's have Gordon Ramsay on the podcast. I would literally die.
I would let him call me an idiot sandwich.
I would let him call me anything he wanted to, and I would have him critique my cooking skills, lack thereof, and he would.
Hey, you took a cooking class, so you're better than me.
Flipping terrible.
Will took a cooking class, and he thinks he's like Gordon Ramsay Jr. now ever since.
Exactly, yeah.
You know how to make beef.
I got a Gordon Ramsay cookbook for Christmas too.
Oh, so you're all set.
I've got meals on deals or whatever. So, we're talking about food today, and it's a bit of a different type of thing that you'd expect for the food. We always love talking about certain trends or things we like to change in the industry, and we've noticed that a lot of what the food industry and the restaurant is nowadays is a lot of these food delivery apps, and I was thinking about ordering something over this past weekend, and what sparked the idea for this episode was I was ordering a pizza from Cane Rosso in Deep Ellum, and I looked at the price. It was like $15 for a pizza, and then it was like delivery fee, and then like extra taxes and fees, and then tip or whatever.
You're gonna have Cane Rosso deliver a pizza?
Well, I didn't want to get up and go down there, so I was just gonna have them deliver it to me.
That sounds so expensive.
It was expensive. It pushed from $15 to $50 to deliver it like a mile. I was down at my girlfriend's place.
Well, and there's no way it would taste good too.
No, it was bad. I
feel like Neapolitan pizza wouldn't taste good delivered either.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
For those that don't know, Cane Rosso is in Dallas and Texas in general. They got some in Houston, I think, too. And it's like Neapolitan style pizza.
It's good pizza, yeah. Pizza, but what set me off was the increase from $15 to $50.
Should have done Old Chicago. That's the best.
But that's what kind of sparked the idea for this episode was, I've always liked going out to eat, but we've noticed a trend in all of the food delivery apps like Postmates, Grubhub, what are some of the other ones? Uber Eats, Favor, DoorDash. I think there's delivery.com or something too. Which they're huge now. It's a huge industry. So, it does make a whole lot of things easier. It makes things a lot more convenient, but
it's a gift and a curse.
It is, yeah. It's kind of a give and take. So we wanted to talk about kind of the differences of different food delivery apps, how it has impacted some businesses and where we see it going in the next, 5, 10, 100 years. Who knows? Is it even going to last another year? We don't know.
It's like the comedian. What was the comedian we watched last week?
Ronnie Chang.
Yeah. And he was talking about
The Daily Show.
how accessible everything is becoming to the point where we're just put it in my hand and
Yes.
put it into my mouth.
He's talking about
It's gonna get to that
ordering
point.
from Amazon, and he's like, I want 1 minute delivery. As soon as I order it, I want it to be put in my hand immediately.
Not Amazon Prime, Amazon
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah, Amazon
Which
Now.
sounds real.
It
And
should be real.
I will not be surprised if that's actually a thing in a
I
year or
wouldn't be
two.
surprised either. So,
Bezos.
and it kind of goes to show how much we value as a society convenience and very super quick delivery of things.
Well, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
It's and you just expect it. It's like, I can click this and it has to be here in under 30 minutes and it has to be perfect. That's the thing too. I find funny. People do these. I don't order food that much. I just go get it because I don't want to pay the fees because I'm cheap, and two, because I just don't trust that it's going to be the same quality. Because like what we'll get into, I don't think the quality's ever as good. And also just it's sitting in a car, you know?
Yeah, and you don't know how long it's going to take to deliver. It could be estimated, 30 to 40 minutes.
Well, especially like Grubhub, if they're picking it up, the guy doesn't care. It's different than like a guy from Domino's who might care a little bit because it's like, okay, well, they make Domino's. I doubt Domino's people really care what they're making the company look like.
Don't care.
But I think maybe a little more than like a dude from Grubhub who's basically an Uber driver is just like, hey man, I'm just trying to get
I love the Domino's commercials where they're like, we're going to give pizza
where
the
the manager's been there for like 30 years. He's like, I'm going to hand deliver this. No, man, no one's doing that.
Favorite is the one who's like, the lady's like, we're going to be expediting this order. We need a pizza there in 29
When in reality, all those guys are like on meth and they're just like, oh, hey man.
Well, I'm calling out a lot of Domino's employees here.
I'm not saying that. I'm just pizza. Dude, don't you think pizza in general, like pizza delivery people, are the sketchiest looking people?
Oh, they're terrible, yeah. And
it's no matter where or who you order it from, it's always like they look like they recently got out of jail or like they're high or like got out of rehab.
Or a bunch of high schoolers look, it doesn't take a lot to deliver a pizza or to deliver food. Not degrading, job's a job, whatever.
It's like the episode of Seinfeld where like skills. He watches a guy like he didn't wash his hands. He's making his pizza, and he's like pushing into the dough. It's like that. Whenever I get a pizza and like I see the guy who delivered, I'm kind of like.
There's been some pizza horror stories delivery with people who have like had pizzas eaten before, like all the toppings picked off, or like they literally forgot the cheese on the pizza. It was just like dough with sauce on it and it was like not even cooked.
Yeah, or if it's like you can tell they turned really fast and it's all the way to the side of the box.
Yeah, there's just some
like, how am I supposed to eat this?
So there's pros and cons to the food deliveries and everything, but I mean it's such a huge explosion. And I think in today's restaurant society, there's a lot of fast casual restaurants versus a lot of like fine dining. And then there's obviously fast food, but there's fast casual, which is like Chipotle or Sweet Green or I don't know, Panera or stuff like that.
Breadco's, you people call
Then you
it.
got obviously fast foods like McDonald's and Burger King and all that kind of stuff. But I think you have all these things in between, and a lot of these restaurants are realizing that while their in-house traffic is down for lunch or dinner, I think it was down by like 50% or something like that from a recent poll that they did. They found that there was a huge spike in off-site consumption of food too, which is caused by the food delivery for Uber Eats and Grubhub and I want to say StubHub, but it's Grubhub, Postmates and DoorDash and everything. So I've always a little bit hesitant to do that because I think the quality, like you said, isn't as good. And then also it costs so much freaking money to
it's not worth it. I loved the one on Twitter where it was like $3.99 for the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. And then it got up to like $18.
Yeah.
Just because it's like
that's what the order was on Saturday. I was looking at it. Was there was delivery
why?
fee. There was like a Postmates.
It's like a shipping and handling fee.
Exactly. There was
it's like
there was tax, and then there was driver tip that was included, and it brought it up to $50.
Like nothing is just drive there.
Exactly.
It's not worth that kind of convenience.
Unless you have like a broken
unless you're
leg.
Sick. I can see if you're sick.
Or dying or something like that. But I've always liked going out to eat and going to restaurants, but I always prefer like more of a higher quality type of food, or not like, oh, I'm so fancy and everything. I need 5-star meals.
Give me my filet
mignon. But
deliver my filet mignon on
in
Postmates.
my hand, in my mouth right now. But I actually read something cool where it was people don't actually value the food quality as much nowadays when going to restaurants. Shocking. They value the ambiance and the service attributes that comes along with it. So if a restaurant has good decor, or if like it's a not super loud or chaotic, and it's like they have good servers and the service is really good, they will vote that higher than a place that has similar attributes but has even better food. So
I've found that just when I go to steakhouses, and I just feel like they don't even try at a lot of steakhouses. They just put out whatever, and it's like the ambiance makes it look like, look, this is a 4-star, 5-star restaurant, and you really think about it. You're like, how much are you really working on the food?
Well, think about like all the restaurants that are nowadays. Like, there's so many restaurants. Like here in Dallas, you take a step down Deep Elm or Uptown.
Well, there's so many that are the same.
Exactly.
They're all making tacos.
They're all dime a dozen.
They're all making barbecue. They're all making steak. They're all making burgers.
Exactly. So you go and, you have one restaurant that's there, for 1 week, and then you go to the same street and that place is gone and a new place is opened up. And there's so many restaurants out there, so I think you get kind of like a dilution of, okay, well, I'm sick of this because there's 50 other places there, or I'm sick of that. So you kind of think, well, why would I want to go out if there's all the same places? I could just stay in home, watch Netflix in my room for the entire weekend, and not talk to a single living soul for the entire week. So, I mean,
that's what another reason too. I don't. Do you use it that much? Like any of these?
I have used Grubhub in the past.
Yeah, I've used it, but it's not a go-to for me.
No, I've used Grubhub, and I tried using Uber Eats, but it was so expensive through that. Grubhub, I think, is the one that's like moderately priced, so to speak. But I read something where these big name like delivery companies, they split up their dominance amongst geographical regions. So I think it was here. I'll read it to you. It's in my notes here. So Grubhub is really big in like the Northeast. Postmates and DoorDash is really big in like Houston and Dallas here, and then like Uber Eats is really big in like Florida or something too. So they like split geographically locations, so like they're not competing with each other.
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering because there's all these different options. Like, how do they'll do the same thing? How do they compete? But that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of like a thing that they've kind of agreed to or something, like unwritten rules.
I just think like I want to leave my house. I
want to get out and experience the world like a normal person.
That's the thing that is just crazy, like how this is blown up. And I think it's good in a way because it gives people options, but I think it's getting too big and there's just too much. I don't need Taco Bell delivered to me. There's a drive-through for that.
Exactly.
Go do that. And then if they get the order wrong, it's easy because you're at the window and you can just say, "Hey, you screwed this up. Fix it."
Yeah.
Whereas if they deliver to you, man, you're SOL. So I just think you're getting rid of that convenience of if someone screws up your order, well, too bad.
It's becoming like the streaming things now, the streaming sites. What we did an episode a couple weeks back where there's so many streaming sites, there's so many delivery options now.
And it's so convenient that we're just taking it way too far. And it's like, no, it wasn't meant to get like this,
But it goes to show that millennials, our generation, are willing to pay such a huge premium for convenience. I mean, I get it. Everybody's days are really busy. It's tough to find time to cook. It's tough to find time to go shopping.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know. I just feel like I would rather.
But is it that inconvenient to go to a restaurant? I feel like
for some
I feel like
people
it's like an activity. It's something that's kind of fun. I mean, for me, it's half social. And then if I go by myself, I pick it up and I bring it back. I've never. Like I said, unless I'm sick, I've never felt like, oh man, this is so inconvenient. I have to get into my car. I don't know, just leave your apartment for 5 minutes.
Some people really just can't stop looking at Instagram or doing
it's
what
crazy.
They got to do.
And I just
their house.
Maybe I'm cheap. Maybe I don't. The fees have.
It's
this is the same way. Even with pizza delivery, I've done this where man, I don't want to tip the driver. I'll just go pick it up. That way I don't have to tip.
Exactly.
I've always done that. And I just think now it's like people must really not care. And they're just like, I'll pay the fee because I don't want to leave. But my number one thing is the lack of food quality because I feel like it has made the food quality in every restaurant, no matter what type of food it is, fast food to fast casual to even nicer restaurants, it's made their food quality go down because they're making it quicker. They're just trying to get it out. It's complicating their orders. I came across this I worked at Chipotle, and we did we just started the online order thing. And it was like, we had to just make food and get it out. We didn't care how we made it.
That's crazy. Just pump it out. Let's just.
It was just a system. It was like, get it out. Oh, online order came in the middle of making a person's burritos standing in front of you. You had to stop what you're doing, make the online order, make sure that's ready.
Jeez,
and it was.
That's just too chaotic for me.
Just going off of that, it was crazy. Just going off that one example, I know for sure that's across the board where they're definitely messing up orders because they're just make these quick, get these out.
Yeah.
And they don't care. And they're not taking the time, especially at nicer restaurants, to care for, okay, how am I making this? Am I making this, so that it'll get people coming back?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, couldn't that hurt the restaurant where They're like,
But
I'm not
you got to
going back
give
there.
the people what they want, Aaron. And millions of people want food to be delivered straight into their hands, straight into their mouths. But it's true. I mean, I think this is a onwards to become, I read somewhere, like a $200 billion industry. Like that, this is a huge industry and a huge, I guess, stepping off point for the restaurant industry.
But don't you think it's the delivery industry that's capitalizing, and it's ultimately going to hurt the restaurant itself?
Yes and no, and we'll get into it when we talk about some like the challenges of it too. But businesses are having to adapt a lot, to adapt their business practices and strategies to compensate or to, I guess, accommodate for the need of delivering and people wanting to get food delivered to their house. I mean, the industry itself is like $82 billion. It's going to double by 2025. And it's grown at such a huge rate over the last couple of years that restaurants are struggling to try and keep up with this too. I read somewhere that in 2015, for the first time, Americans spent more money at getting food delivered than like actual restaurants or at grocery stores, which is pretty wild. So, and that was like 5 years ago too. So, I mean, even now it's
got to be bigger.
I mean, yeah, it's huge now, but I don't know. I was thinking about like how are restaurants, like how are they changing their ways to compensate or to accommodate for these?
I think it's hurting them too because they have to hire more. You have to hire delivery drivers.
They have to hire certain people to manage the online orders. They have to hire and invest in certain, like, well, what about all the compostable pieces of equipment that they use, for the bags or for the boxes and stuff to hold the food in? Mm-hmm. Do they have to spend money into that? Do they? I mean, they do have to hire more too, I would think, because they have to have more employees to make all the food. Yep. So I don't know. What's one of your, like, do you ever get food delivered? Or
I mean, I do once in a while, but it's very rare. And like I said, just because of the fees mainly, and I don't think the quality's as good. But I've used it. I think they're all kind of the same. I've used Uber Eats. I've used Grubhub. I just use whatever the restaurant has, because a lot of them say we use Grubhub or we use. I don't go on the like Grubhub site or app. I just go on the actual restaurant site and they'll put me through to Grubhub or whatever.
I don't know. I've always been curious as to, because I mean, I've ordered some off of Grubhub, but it was from like a nicer restaurant. It was from like an Italian restaurant in St. Louis, where I'm from. But I've not done it. It was from the Hill. It was Lorenzo's, I think.
Oh yeah. That's good.
So it was good. It took forever though. It took maybe about like an hour and a half.
That's the other thing pastas. Too. I forgot about that. I don't like is it's like you're adding on half an hour.
Oh, it's a ton of time, yeah. And a lot of times they have a delivery minimum that you have to buy at. So the minimum is like, $20 or something.
So then you're just going to spend more
if you
just
want a
to
sandwich,
eat it.
then you're like, oh, I got to buy $20 worth of food to have this delivered. And
so maybe that's how the restaurants are getting over, hey, we have to hire more people. Well, we're making people buy more, so it evens out.
Maybe, but I feel like we're in such like it's a good time to be a restaurant owner, but it's also a really bad time because now in America, I mean, 40% of all businesses are actually restaurants, whether you're fast casuals, small restaurants, fine dining, whatever it is. There's a huge amount of businesses that comprise, or a huge amount of restaurants that comprise a lot of businesses. So you're at this threshold of, okay, I can make a lot of money doing a business, but I also have nobody coming into my stores because people just like staying at home.
Well, it makes it look bad too.
Exactly.
People go in, they're like, well, this must not be good because no one's here.
Yeah.
When really maybe it's great and everyone's ordering, but they're just getting delivered.
That's the thing too. So these businesses are trying to accommodate this new shift. And I was talking about like the compostable stuff earlier. So there's a restaurant in New York. It's like a pizza place. They're like, okay, well, we hired somebody to handle all of the online orders specifically. So I have to pay a new salary or hourly wage for that. They had looked into, okay, well, how long does it take for this food to be delivered? What routes they have to take. So they had to invest in like planning and stuff like that, and then technology. And then they had to invest in different types of boxes. So it'll keep the food hot, and it'll also be like eco-friendly because apparently you have to like conform to certain standards nowadays to not have plastic.
Yeah, like certain states have certain laws.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
so they had to go in and spend all this money into trying to get this all up to speed and everything. And I mean, they still found that there was money being delivered, or I guess made off of it, but it wasn't as much.
Money's delivered.
Money, put the money in my hand.
Wish my money was delivered.
I mean, technically it is. It's delivered into your bank account. So
there you go.
You just want to put it into your hand.
Exactly.
Right?
I want to order it on Grubhub.
I don't know. I don't get what the trend is for.
I
for
think
all
it's
these
kind
people.
of. I think it's kind of like the esports episode we talked about, where it's this fad and it's grown so quick, and it's just gotten big quick, and people hop on the train, and then it's going to reach a peak, and then I think people are going to start to see, oh wait, we're spending all this money, like I said last week in the esports episode, where people haven't seen failure yet in this. They've just seen success.
Yeah.
So until you see failure, then you'll start seeing that, wait a minute, maybe this is too good to be true. And I think once you see, wait, I'm spending whatever, $50, $100, $5,000 extra on Grubhub and Postmates and Favor and all these things, they're going to, what am I doing? Like, I'll just go back in. So I think, because, I mean, you think about it, this stuff has really only been around
maybe
10 years
6
max. Yeah.
I can't even see. Like, Uber Eats only came in like 2014. I think
Grubhub's been around a while.
Grubhub's been around for a little while.
I mean, it wasn't mainstream, but like they started around like mid 2000s.
But I mean,
late 2000s.
Yeah, I'd say like 2000.
It hasn't blown up though since like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But because I know like Favor started when I moved to Texas. It was only in like 3
Favor is
cities.
like, do they deliver like groceries or just like?
They might now, but I know like usually it's just like Grubhub. Or
There's
Postmates.
one that delivers like snacks to you. Like you can literally pick up what you want and it'll deliver like
I'm sure
Gatorade, Cheez-Its.
I'm sure
and a
all of
Power
them
Bar.
do that. Like I bet if you used them, like they all have a feature where you can do that, or if they don't, they will. Just because people are taking this, they take everything so far, and they just want the ultimate convenience where it's like, man, I could use a Gatorade. Just give me a bottle of Gatorade. Which, I mean, I could see it. Sometimes if you're sitting there
but, like,
hungover and you're like,
if
man, I
there's-
need a Gatorade.
How much are you gonna spend for a bottle of Gatorade?
Yeah, I'm not.
You
Well,
gotta
and
have
that's
a
what I'm saying.
Gatorade, spend $12 for a bottle for delivery fee and taxes and delivery and all that. And be like,
I mean, hey, people spend $5 for Fiji water, so there's
that stuff is a scam too. Just telling you right now, it's
is.
the same bottled
No,
water that
it's
goes
good.
in
It's-
Aquafina or
it's good.
Sam's Club
It's
water
better than
or
Dasani.
anything like
Dasani, they
that.
put salt in it.
They do not.
They do.
I
Yeah.
don't taste any salt.
It's in there. That's why drink a Dasani. It makes you thirstier. It's also owned by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is up to that because they want you to buy more.
Well,
It's true.
all right,
Dasani
I'm gonna have to
is-
conduct a test.
I
here.
refuse to drink Dasani because it's like drinking ocean water. It'll just dehydrate you.
Drop us a like or a comment if you want me to perform a science test on this.
Shout out Fiji water.
Yeah. Yeah, can we get sponsored by
The
Fiji
freshest
water, now?
water in the world. But yeah, I think
Okay.
once you see these, you'll start to look and say, "Oh wow, I've spent all this money. My food's really not that good." I don't think it'll ever go away. These are good businesses and they serve a purpose and it's great. But I think they're going to need to start bringing those fees down. It, kind of like with shipping. I think Amazon kind of got to that point, or StubHub, or several of these things where they tack on these crazy shipping and handling fees. And then people notice and they're like, "Whoa, what is this? Like, this isn't worth it." And they stop doing it. So then the companies are forced to bring that down or make it, okay, if you really want ultimate convenience, and maybe that's what they'll start doing. They'll make it so like, hey, you want this super quick, 15 minutes or less, pay this. If you want half an hour or less, pay this. And kind of make tiers.
I would probably say that's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Just because I don't
it's
see
like
it
premium content
totally slowing
that you
down.
want.
Right.
Yeah. I would
it's kind of how
probably
everything's
say
going
Amazon
on now.
kind of does that. If you
Yeah.
want it 2-day shipping.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
you
like they
just-
caught on to it
yeah.
because people were like, "Oh, I'm not paying this," but then they came up, with Prime and the 2-day shipping or the 1-day shipping or the same day shipping.
Yeah.
And
2-hour shipping.
Amazon now.
Put it into my hand.
See, it is going down that trend.
I mean, I get it though. I was looking through and I saw that some restaurants they charge more money for the same food item if you order it in store as opposed to ordering it through like Grubhub or something. So like a sandwich in the store would cost like $8, and if you order it through Uber Eats or something, it would cost $10, which is ridiculous because you're paying for the same thing from the same place. You're spending more money.
Well, do they have to pay Uber Eats to have that partnership? Like, is the restaurant paying for that? So
I read that on average, the delivery apps or food places, they take about 30% of the cut from the overall sale.
Okay.
But I think DoorDash got in trouble with this like a little while ago for really crappy wages for their employees and their drivers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They were taking like 70% of the cut, and since people don't
I mean, like Uber in general, just the normal Uber got in trouble for that too.
Oh, yeah.
These places will pay you the least amount possible.
DoorDash had to like rework how they were gonna like pay their employees.
They're doing the math, and they're like, "Hey, I'm paying for all this gas and mileage in my car, and you're paying me like $3 an hour."
Well, I saw a YouTube video. It's like what it's like to be an actual DoorDash driver, and some dude was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it for like a week," and then he did it. So he calculated exactly how much money he spent on gas, how much he got from each order, what the order total was, and how much he got. He only made like maybe $10 out of 8 hours worth of work.
I bet people don't tip very well.
He made
either.
$10, or like he literally made nothing. Like, and people don't tip anymore.
No,
people are.
If they do, it's like, yeah, here's $1, here's $2. But it's not even like a waiter where you're like, well, he was nice, or that's good service. But then I think it's creating, on the flip side, people aren't tipping and the food's not as good. But then it's creating the people who work for these companies where they're just like, here's your food, I don't care. So there's this huge lack of service. There's like no customer service there.
I think so too. So Aaron, let me ask you this then. So when you go out to restaurants or go out to eat, I'm not talking about like McDonald's or fast food or even fast casual or anything like I don't know, like a
sit-down restaurant.
Like a sit-down restaurant, yeah. Do you notice that the food quality has gotten better or worse in the last couple of years?
I don't think to answer your question, I think, it's gotten, I don't want to say worse. That sounds too strong, but I think it's
just like the same.
I think it's a little lower than it used to be. Maybe that's just my memories of certain restaurants, but I think it's a little lower, but I don't think that's necessarily because of the delivery service aspect. I think that's other factors. I will say though, for things like Chipotle or Panera or just the fast casual, I guess you could call them. I think those have, because of Grubhub and DoorDash and all these.
I would say so
because, like I said before, the employees have to make them so quick, and they're thinking about two different things. They got to make them for the customer. They got to make them for the online orders and the favor people and DoorDash people who are showing up, and they need to pick up that order, and they don't want to keep them waiting. So it's like there's too much on their plate. See what I did there?
Hey, so you wrote your own food pun.
Boom.
And it was what didn't go over your head. So no, I agree with you. I think if you're going to like an actual sit-down restaurant,
I mean,
the food
at
is
a
like
sit-down
the
restaurant,
same.
like give me an example of a sit-down restaurant you would use DoorDash for.
I don't know. So like, there's this place called Beer and Blatt over there. We've been there a couple times. It's a good place. It has good burgers, but I feel like those type of places are so dime a dozen with like the craft beers, and the burgers. Even like the Mexican or the barbecue places as well. Mm-hmm. There's so many of them. So there's only so many ways.
But would you order from Beer and Blatt? Like, would you do a Grubhub from? I feel like you wouldn't do that from there.
No, but I wouldn't personally, but you could. Like, people will do that for DoorDash or Grubhub.
I just feel like
Postmates.
And I don't know the stats. You're the stat guy, but like, I would like to see what style people are using this for the most. I'm assuming fast food, because every time I go to a fast food place, they're like, "Hey, we deliver. Hey, we're on Grubhub and whatnot."
I mean,
so maybe that. But
I think it's both fast food and fast casual. But
I can't imagine many people are using it for a sit-down restaurant because, like I said, I feel like people go to those restaurants because you're going for the atmosphere. You're going to sit down and get away and have that experience. Whereas Chipotle, you're just trying to eat a little bit healthier, or you really want a burrito, or it's about that fast, that convenience. And that's why they set it up like that, where you can go in, you can customize your whole order, and you can get it quick. It's the best of both worlds. Whereas like McDonald's or whatever, you can't. You're getting a cheeseburger and that's it.
Maybe people want, like, when they're ordering food, they really want to be like, okay, I don't want something like cheap, or like I don't want Chipotle, or I don't want Panera or something. I really want that burger from Beer and Blatt. That mushroom Swiss burger was really good, but I really don't want to leave. So like I can see that why some people would want to have it delivered, or using restaurants or the apps for those type of restaurants. Because I think all of these restaurants, or most of them, should offer the service of delivering. Because I mean, if you're
offer it so then you look like, hey, we're trying to make this easy on all you guys. I think definitely it's something to offer. I just think before a restaurant decides that, they need to be ready for, okay, this might take our quality of food down a notch, and be ready for complaints. And that's the thing, too.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's a lot of issues with the food delivery apps that we can jump into now, too.
Well, and I think the food industry already has, people just love to complain. It's like they go to a restaurant expecting for something to be wrong, and they want to talk to the manager about it.
They got to capture that social media a little bit.
Yeah, and got to go on Yelp and like rate them just terribly and complain. And I feel like it's providing one more excuse to complain about something. So that's a thing where it's kind of like I said, it's a gift and a curse, where it's great, it's convenient and all that, but for the restaurants on their side, okay, you're making it convenient for people, but there's going to be backlash. A delivery driver might be late, and some of these delivery drivers, that aren't with you, if they're coming from DoorDash, you're not responsible for them. But they're going to take it out on the restaurant. They're not taking it out on the DoorDash guy usually. They might go to the Yelp on DoorDash and say, this sucks. But I think a lot of times they're not thinking about that. That's just the guy who brought them the food. They're thinking about, wait, this came from the restaurant. This is the restaurant's problem. When
that's a good point.
DoorDash might have screwed it up, and I had nothing to do with it. And
the chef could be like, okay, well, this food is meant to be consumed like
the chef,
whoever's
the chef
making the food.
So Tyler Lawrence is back in Applebee's.
I'm talking about those. The Beer and Blatt,
making the quesadilla burger.
Crunchwrap Supreme was soggy. Okay.
Who was the lady? What was her name at Taco Bell? Do you remember those commercials where they claimed they had a chef-inspired menu?
Oh, yeah.
It was like a Mexican
chef.
They
went through like...
it was like supposed to be healthier. It was almost ridiculous.
Using fresh ingredients and organic type of stuff. And,
off topic, but I watched you remember Morgan Spurlock on Super Size Me?
Yeah, I remember
He did the movie Super Size Me?
Yeah.
And so he opened this chicken restaurant, and he basically was proving how sketchy the restaurant industry is, and saying how
the restaurant industry is so sketchy.
Yeah, like how they'll paint on like burn marks on the food, like char marks. Or they'll say things like, all natural, and just filler words that,
just watch an episode of Kitchen Nightmares,
it's crazy.
The American version, and you will see
it blew my
horrors.
Mind. It made me rethink the Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Yeah, the literal horrors that these restaurants have. Like, okay, it's a good time to be a restaurant owner, but you got to kind of know what you're doing, and you got to have some good.
And so many don't. So many just dive into it.
Yeah. Well, so the one thing I learned from Kitchen Nightmares is, one, never store your uncooked meat and your prepared meat on the same shelf, cross-contamination. And two, don't do too much as a restaurant. Do something simple and stick to one theme. A lot of these restaurants that fail are like, we're going to do Chinese food and Japanese food.
It's like the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, we're going to do American food. Like, there was a restaurant in St. Louis called the Elephant Bar.
Oh, yeah,
They literally had, like, an entire encyclopedia of food and drinks. So they had Chinese
how am I
food.
supposed to decide what to order before the waiter comes back?
Exactly. They had burgers. They had pizza. You can get pasta. It was it was a huge fusion restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, and it's like, what can you do well? Because there's like nothing. This all has to be at least average, because you're doing 50 different things.
They didn't specialize in anything really well for one thing. So they could have specialized in just burgers or just Chinese food or just Korean food.
Is that still open?
Instead, I know it's closed down now.
I figured. It's St. Louis. Everything closes.
Exactly.
Kind of like Dallas seems like now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, all these restaurant owners are like, well, yeah, I know what I'm doing. It can't be that bad. And they have no quality control over their food. So there's like mice running in. I worked at a restaurant in high school. God,
Ruby Tuesday.
Come on, Ruby Tuesday. Yeah, it was a bad restaurant. There was a frog in the kitchen. There were roaches.
Dude, I liked Ruby Tuesday too. Like, I thought
they
that food
had
was
decent
good.
Burgers until you've had them.
Until you see a frog in it.
Exactly.
This burger's made with frog.
Yeah, a lot of these so I saw an episode of Kitchen Nightmares where the chef was putting a literal spray. He was spraying the stuff on the meat so it wouldn't stick to the grill. And Gordon's
like Pam.
Kind of, but it literally looked like some sort of weird aerosol thing you would get at Home Depot, where it was like spray it on, and it turned the steak or the meat like white. And Gordon's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, it's just so it won't stick on the grill." And you're like,
"Is that an Italian accent?"
He was like,
so
Italian.
It does stick on the grill.
He was an Italian dude. Well, he was a Mexican guy working at an Italian restaurant.
I was wondering what that accent was. It was pretty.
It was
good.
a really shitty accent.
So it don't stick on the grill.
But he was like, "What are you doing?" And then the owner was just like, "It's totally fine. You know, that's just how restaurants are made, and so everything's frozen." And I could go off on a tangent for years.
But I think that goes in line with, if you're gonna do these delivery service partnerships, like, know what you're getting yourself into, because it could ruin. Not just ruin what
your
people
business,
think of your restaurant and the quality of your food, and just ruin your reputation altogether.
Yeah.
So I think unless it makes sense, I wouldn't do it if I'm a restaurant owner. Like, no, you can come in. Like we said before, we want people in our restaurant to make it look popular and have an experience. And it's like, focus on the experience and have them. If the food's good enough, people will come and get it. To me,
if you cook it, Pete, they will come. No, I agree with you though. I think like if you're going to a restaurant, you're like, okay, this food is meant to be eaten within 5 to 10 minutes, hot, really fresh, ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, when have you gotten food that's
styrofoam box? Put it in some dude's car. He could take 35 minutes to deliver it or whatever.
When have you gotten food that's not lukewarm when you order off these delivery apps? I don't think I ever have. It's always at least lukewarm. I would say
it's pretty much it's like not.
I've never had it where it's like, wow, that is fresh off the grill.
Never have I never seen it. But I mean, that's what you got to think about if you're offering it for a restaurant, though. Like, okay, I have to look at different types of packaging to hold in the heat more, or I have to look at different types of dishes.
Yeah, it's going to cost you more money.
Don't still has like a good freshness quality, but I don't have to sacrifice flavor or whatever to it.
Yeah.
So it's forcing these restaurants to think and cook and prepare things in a different way, and it's not necessarily a good way because, well, for us, we go for the experience and we go out and have a social time and, to enjoy the food. A lot of these other people really like being shut-ins and,
Well, I feel like a lot of people, too, they use it on food that they don't care how it tastes necessarily. Like, if I'm getting fast food, I don't have crazy expectations, so if my food's not great, it's like, well, I paid $6 for it.
Exactly.
And so I think that's where I could see it going, where this kind of stays in the McDonald's realm, the true fast food realm, because people don't really care. They just want something to eat. It's like hangover food at that point.
Isn't that crappy, though, how people will just be like, okay, well, I just going to order a pizza. I don't care what it tastes like. I just need something to eat.
It's just nourishment.
I mean, if I had the choice between, like, Cane Rosa pizza is like, it's good pizza. It's Neapolitan pizza. It's fresh. You can literally see it being,
yeah, like you're going to go and it's always good.
Yeah. So if I had the choice, like, okay, I have to spend $10 on a Domino's sausage pizza or $15 on this Cane Rosa, wood fire grill or whatever. I don't know what I said.
Domino's is going to start saying that now. We have wood fire
fire. I'm going to spend an extra $5. I don't mind driving to the restaurant.
I know everything about the pizza category, and the day of reckoning will come.
Papa John's. We're calling Papa John's out now. He's eaten 40 pizzas in 30 days.
Bring back Papa.
Get
Shaq off the board of whatever. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Why is he on the board?
Because he's Shaq and he's been in he owns 500 different endorsements. Or sponsorships.
You're gonna trust that dude to just tell you this is what you should do with pizza.
Exactly. Because he's Shaq.
He hasn't eaten 40 pizzas in 30 days. He knows nothing about the pizza category.
All right, so that Papa John's dude literally looks like he ate 40 pizzas in 30 days. He's literally a giant ball of dough. Gross looking, sweaty, oily dude.
Sweating garlic
slick
sauce.
Back, weird black hair. Just I'm so tired from walking up one stair.
What is he doing too? Is he making his own pizza now?
I have no idea.
Because in that interview, he's wearing He's wearing the Papa John's getup, just without the logo. He had a different logo on it, but it was the same red pizza, you know those kind of shirts that like pizza guys that toss
he still
the dough
thinks
up
he's
where?
part of Papa John's. And
he is
maybe
Papa
he should
John.
Maybe he should start delivering for DoorDash.
There you go.
And he just shows up to a Pizza
spit in
Hut
their
or
pizza.
a Papa John's one day, and he's like, "Here, I'm here to deliver your food." And they're like, "We recognize you from somewhere. Where are you
familiar.
from?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, the day of reckoning is coming." And then he takes
day
the
of reckoning
food and
is
he
here.
leaves. How funny would that be?
Speaking of, this is way off topic, but speaking of people are like, I don't know what the word is, getting their comeback, I should say.
The day of reckoning.
The day of reckoning, yes.
Yeah.
Jared Fogle. Okay.
Oh, dude, no.
So no. I'm not. No, I'm calling Subway out for this,
dude. No,
there's
Subway. Do not give him a second chance. No.
But here, this is sketchy, man. There's a Subway ad out right now. Just watch TV and you'll see it. The voiceover guy they got, it's because he sounds like Jared. 100%. They
really
tried to get Jared without like showing him. They're like, who can we get who sounds like Jared Fogle?
First of all, I never go to Subway anymore.
No, it's disgusting.
I ate Subway for the last time maybe it was like back in March of 2019.
That's something you could get
when I
delivered
first
to you and
moved
it'll
here.
taste the same because it's all gross either way.
It was either the oven bacon chicken or whatever. It was the
oven baked chicken
worst
that they throw in the
thing I've ever
microwave.
had. They literally got like some flimsy gray piece of chicken, put some flatbread, some cheese and stuff.
The bread is
and
always soggy.
It was like eating a pile of mush dog food. It was so bad. I'm calling Subway out. They're garbage.
But yeah, like it's crazy. I swear, their marketing department was like, "Hey, we sold a lot more when we had Jared on our side. Maybe it'll rekindle the good memories of Subway back in the day. If we put his like a guy who sounds just like him, it's crazy, man. I'm like, you're gonna toe that line?
X on Subway.
They are towing that line.
All right, so I'm adding Subway to the list of companies I'll never support again, along with GameStop, and Subway, and that's it for now. So the list is small.
I'm adding
but it's growing.
I'm adding Subway to the list of companies I won't support, like GameStop and Subway.
Subway and GameStop. I will not support them.
Subway's on there twice.
I will not. So
Freebirds.
I
Freebirds
think it's
is
an
gross
interesting trend that we have with it too, and obviously there's a lot of problems with the food delivery. We talked about a lot of like the delivery drivers are poorly paid. Nobody tips them anymore. The rising costs in food and the delivery themselves. But one thing I actually was reading about was there's a huge cash burn for a lot of these delivery apps. So even though they make like 30%, a lot of that doesn't actually come back to them. They still have to pay out expenses, and they only maybe net about like 10% of that. So if you're not, I guess, doing well for the business, because there's so many different types of delivery apps. So you could be like, oh, if somebody doesn't like DoorDash, like I'm going to go order from Postmates or Uber Eats or Grubhub or something.
Go to the next one.
Exactly. There's really no difference in the quality or the service level. It's just some dude delivering food to you. So it's not like
honestly, half the time I've done it, I don't even know. Like I couldn't tell you if it's DoorDash or Postmates or the own restaurant doing
Postmates is really expensive though, and so is Uber Eats. DoorDash and Grubhub are better priced for the delivery. Mm-hmm. They don't make you like have certain minimums for orders either.
Yeah,
like, Uber Eats requires you to have like a $20 minimum or something.
That's stupid.
So I'm like, this is dumb. Why
Unless I'm ordering,
one person?
I could see if you're ordering for like a party. If there's 10 people, then great,
exactly.
That's easy. But yeah, no.
It's dumb. But there is also like fraud and cybersecurity issues with it, like ghost deliveries. So they could, so an order comes through, it's processed as delivered, but the person never actually delivered the food. The driver like took the food and ate it.
I told you about that when that happened. Speaking of Papa John's again, I told you about.
Oh no!
We ordered Papa John's and it's like 1:50 a.m. and they close at 2 supposedly.
Oh god!
And the guy just, it was like 3 a.m. and we called them. We're like, hey man, we gave you enough time. Like, where's our order here? And he's like, oh, couldn't find your apartment. I just drove away. Like. Okay, cool. I need my money back then. Like, what's going on?
Exactly.
He did just that. He just drove away, and we didn't get our money back.
well, there, yeah. So then you call them up, and then you call the restaurant up, and you're like, well, the dude never delivered my food.
Well, and they can't prove it.
Exactly.
You know.
So, and the driver would be like, well, I delivered the food. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
So there's actually a ton of these with like these ghost deliveries, and the drivers just take the freaking food and eat it. So then the restaurant gets in trouble, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So there's lots of issues.
You can't tell me you'd be tempted though. Wouldn't you be tempted if you were doing that?
I mean, if it was like
sitting there
6, 7
smelling a
o'clock at
pizza,
night, like, man,
you got like 5 more miles to drive.
Yeah,
like,
this Chipotle smells really good right now. Like I can tell he's got some guac in there. Like I know he's got some chips in there too. Sneak a chip or something. Yeah.
Yo, the chips would be easy.
Oh yeah, it'd be so easy. Like,
well, it's not like they seal the bags. So you can just take one out, roll it back up,
take another couple of them. So where do we see the future of like these restaurants or these delivery apps going? Because I think we talk about the here and now and how popular they are now, but I feel like it's like a bubble waiting to break.
How long do you think that's going to be?
I don't know. It's tough because everybody's on the convenience train. You know, everyone has to have everything instantaneously. They don't want to do anything kind of more themselves. They'd rather just have somebody else deliver it to them. So maybe 5-6 years, but there's no failures to go off of. So as soon as somebody has like a tremendous failure, like if DoorDash goes out of business, then I think maybe people will start realizing, okay, it's not that great. Or if the food quality drops to such a low standard, then it's going to be, okay, I'm going to reevaluate. Like, I'm not,
I think
people are not going to.
You might see once these companies start going down a little bit more. I think you'll see the restaurants have a stronger partnership with the delivery companies and kind of do it like, I don't know how they could do this, but maybe like you're half a DoorDash employee, half a the restaurant's employee. So that way they know, hey, if you screw this up, that we know who's responsible here. We're not going to get blamed for, that sort of, it covers all the bases. Because right now I think it's kind of the wild, wild west where you're trusting this guy to deliver your food and make it look good, but why would he care? He doesn't work for you.
Right.
He's an independent contractor. So I think you're going to have more of these. Maybe even a restaurant will buy out. I mean, these companies are so big, but I mean, I could see like a McDonald's saying, hey, we're just going to buy Favor, and then they're going to be our delivery service.
It could be.
So that way they can kind of, powered by Favor, one of those type of things.
What about restaurants only being like cloud-based restaurants or only like takeout and deliveries? So
did you say cloud-based?
So like
it's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud. Nobody understands the cloud. I guess I use that term because it's like it's a virtual restaurant. So nobody goes to the restaurant. There's only a brick and mortar store exists to make the food and then
kind of like a
food
truck, right?
Kind of like a food truck. It's just an entire restaurant, like an entire building.
So like you can only order for it. You can't go pick it up.
So I was reading this and it's they're in like, I guess, startup phases or whatever. There's some in Chicago and there's some in New York where it's a virtual restaurant. You can, order the food. There's a brick and mortar store right there, but nobody goes into the restaurant. They only deliver it to you.
I mean, that's like pizza places. Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's. I mean, you don't sit down and eat at a lot of them. You just go and you have the option to go pick it up, but 90% of it's delivery.
Yeah, that's true. It's just not pizza. So. It's like burgers or like, entrees and everything, like chicken or steak or fish.
I could see that. I just think I think once you get up to those type of foods like steak and even like burgers, I just think the margin of error is too high, and so they don't want to risk that. They want people to come in and taste their burger or their nice food for, hey, look how fresh this is, and they care more about the quality. So I don't see restaurants that really care about their quality going that far because they want it at the maximum level of freshness and how it looks and all that stuff. But
I could see it becoming not a mainstream thing, but something that you hear of, like, oh yeah, there's this new virtual restaurant that just
I could see that happening too in places like New York or LA where the space is limited. Yeah. I think like Dallas, probably not. Maybe. I mean, it's a big enough city, but I think just out east maybe more where you really need to, you need to scale down your restaurants. Brick and mortar isn't worth it, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, you get lower overhead though costs. You don't have to pay anybody to service the food. You just pay the drivers, and that's usually lower than anyways, which would hopefully lower the cost of the food.
Yeah, I just think it's a certain. You can only go so far with what type of food it is, because once you get to too nice of food, then like I said, you're risking the food not being as good, and
that's true,
hurts your reputation.
It's like, what if it in the future it's like robot deliveries or something too?
Oh, I mean, that already happens.
Like robots deliver your food.
Yeah.
Or
they got like
really
Roomba looking things delivering people's food on college campuses. Really? Yeah.
Whoa, it's
so cool. Not many, but yeah, that's happening.
Oh my God, the
already.
machines have won.
That's for sure. If we're talking about food delivery changing, for sure, robot delivery will be a thing. I don't think you're gonna have to pay.
What about like drones?
Especially with the self-driving cars too.
Yeah, like what about drones delivering food? Like a
that
little
happens
drone
now too.
just like coming over, just like on your balcony or whatever.
Yeah,
just like
that
drone
happens.
has arrived.
I don't know what companies do it, but no, that happens with food.
That would be. I would.
It's
hop
happening
on that
now.
For a
the future is
thing.
here.
The future
you
is
haven't
here.
seen this?
I haven't seen drone to robot deliveries. No.
Yeah,
those are literally just things I was just like speculating. I was just like, what if this happened?
No, that's been going on for
oh my
a year
God,
or two.
The future is here now.
Yeah, dude. It's
man.
A year from now, it's going to be like
I'm living in 2008. Y'all are living in 3008, man.
I'm so 2008. You're so 2008.
Oh no, I didn't know that was actually happening.
Yeah,
I was just like, that would be so cool. Like 10 years from now, there's just a bunch of drones
probably
in the
stupid
air,
Gary V is like invested in it, and
Gary
Elon
V.
Musk and all these people.
I bet Elon Musk will be like, I've got 30,000 drones ready to go for food delivery right now.
SpaceX will deliver your food in a Tesla.
They all combine together to form a pole to the moon or something. Like, you could scale like a fireman.
We're going to deliver food to the moon with Space Force.
Our Space Force to the moon is better than your Space
30
Force.
minutes or less.
To the moon. Mr. Trump, you know how far away the moon is. Yes, I could get there in 30 minutes.
I'm going to deliver the McDonald's that I gave the Clemson football team. Deliver it to the moon.
Oh, my God.
That's still my favorite picture of him sitting there with his two thumbs up, like in front of a ton of McDonald's in the White House.
It is a literal walking meme.
You're a billionaire. Like, he did that on purpose, too. I'm going to feed a McDonald's because this will get a reaction out of people.
So what is it with, like, people with a lot of money loving just the convenience factor and eating like the crappiest food known to man too? Like my old CEO from the old company that I shall not name a long time ago, he would eat McDonald's like 4 or 5 times a week, and he was the CEO of a company. He had money, and he's like, I don't even go to the grocery store anymore. I just have everything delivered to me. I'm like, I don't even go and get like eggs or milk or something, or we'd have McDonald's delivered 4 times a week, and it would be giant bag.
No, he's got his egg McMuffin.
Large fry, breakfast. You have like egg McMuffin, orange juice, hash browns.
The pancakes.
And then he would get like the quarter pounder with cheese, large fry, chocolate shake, and then he'd have like an apple pie later or something. Like, I don't know. I just feel like...
Speaking of supersize me. There you go.
Maybe, I guess. But so here's something cool I actually found out though. So some of these companies are integrating themselves into like the delivery of food from start to finish. So from when they harvest the food from the farmers to they deliver it to a warehouse, and then they prep the food and then they deliver it to restaurants. So then they have quality control over everything. Like Zomato is doing this. So it ensures like the best quality ingredients are delivered, the best types of food, so there's no sacrificing on anything along the road.
Oh, okay.
Usually sometimes, the farmers will deliver it to the grocery stores or they'll deliver it to other businesses, and then the restaurants will buy it from them. Mm-hmm. Restaurants are actually cutting out that middleman and going to like the
straight to the source.
Yeah, straight to the source.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
That's a really intricate idea.
Does it cost more to do that?
No.
Why wouldn't everyone do that?
Because it's a lot of work and it costs. Well, it doesn't cost as much, but it costs like more man hours to do it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, the article I was reading.
So it does cost more to do that.
it costs more because this costs in a
you have to pay
way.
people to do that, to go get it.
And, you just have to, it takes a lot more time and labor hours to do that. But that way, I mean,
I think if you have good food, like I said, if you have nicer style food, then I think. Yeah, definitely. They all should do that.
Like why
I think if you're selling McDonald's, no. But
like why some grocery stores have really bad produce, and then like down
the street,
that
makes sense.
Other grocery stores
makes sense because there's certain brands you notice, and they're like, or just Walmart, for example. Their produce is always bad.
So bad.
But then you go to, I don't know, Kroger or whatever, and they have better produce. It's interesting.
Because I think they specialize in that, and they want to make sure, like, Walmart has a trillion other stuff that they sell. Kroger just sells food. So I'm fine with restaurants or like wholesaler food distributors or whatever to invest in the front end to reap more rewards in the back end.
I'd pay more too for my food, like to actually go to a restaurant and eat it fresh and know that this is straight from the farmer. You know, like a lot of restaurants. That was in
it's like organic or farm to table type of stuff.
The Morgan Spurlock movie, he was talking about that, how they all say farm to table, and he actually showed how many do it, and it was like almost none do it. They just say farm to table because that means nothing. You know, it's just words. It doesn't need to literally be farm to table.
But I'm fine with it. Like I would totally pay $20 for a steak or $30 for a steak.
I mean, it's kind of like how people pay more for organic. You know, it's kind of that same concept.
I don't know about the organic thing. I'm not on that trend usually. I just
but you know how people they will pay more for that peace of mind. It's that same kind of thing where you're willing to pay more to get that peace of mind of this is fresher or this is, you know, it doesn't have chemicals or whatever in it or that sort of thing.
Because you don't know what you're getting at.
I think organic stuff
Taco
is a scam
Bell
to me.
But I mean, who knows what's in Taco Bell or
horse meat?
Or yes, that and probably other stuff too that shall not be named.
I used to love Taco Bell.
I'm surprised
I can't
you
eat
loved
it
it for
anymore.
as long as you did. Because you love fast food though. Like
I
really,
love certain
enjoy
fast
it.
food.
Yeah.
It depends. Like Popeyes, number one. I'm
Chick-fil-A is
old,
better
man.
than Popeyes.
No, that's a terrible take.
No, it's
I'm getting
not.
old though. I
That's
can't
a
eat it
great
anymore. It
take.
hurts my stomach now.
See,
so I got to eat it sparingly, and like when I do eat it, I have to know I'm going to enjoy
your
it.
stomach's like, please, why did you torture us for so
Stop.
many years? Yeah, it's finally just mutiny on your body, and just like, all right, can't do it anymore.
My taste buds are just like, it doesn't matter, eat it.
Then when you eat like something other than that, you're like, oh my god, this is so good.
Well, it's funny. I was saying, you know, it's New Year's resolution stuff, so I'm eating a little healthier. And I'm amazed. It's been a week and a half, and I'm already like, wow, I feel a lot better.
Yeah. Don't eat Chipotle
I have a
every
stomach
day,
ache.
but
No, I don't even eat that much
invest
anymore.
in cooking. I don't know. I like cooking, so
I don't like cleaning. I like cooking. I don't like cleaning.
yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, just you cook the meal for Amelia, and you know
She can clean it.
Amelia can clean it up. Then that's fair. Let's see, like somebody cooks, the other person cleans. That's what I do.
Man,
What seems to work.
That's some 21st century stuff.
That's
right there.
there you go, breaking the status quo here, guys.
Pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. No gender stereotypes and norms on this podcast. So, but we want to hear what you guys have to say about this too. You know, what are your favorite delivery apps? You know, do you guys prefer paying a premium for better quality food, or do you not mind it being a little bit lukewarm? Or
if you use these apps, tell us why. Like, why is it worth it? Is it solely the convenience, or why do you get whatever restaurant you get it from? And why do you use these over just going and picking it up or going to the restaurant?
Yeah, very curious to hear what everybody's thoughts are. So if you liked the episode, want to hear your conversation, tweet at us. We're at Weekendology Pod on Twitter. We're up on YouTube as well. Check us out on Apple. We're on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, pretty much everywhere that you guys enjoy podcasts.
Rate and subscribe.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
It really helps us. We love doing these podcasts, but we want to get more kind of a user feedback, audience
we got to get
feedback,
more engagement from everyone.
Yeah, we need some more engagement.
Got to know people are listening, and we're not just talking to each other.
No, we have people that are listening. We had some good stuff
Prove
on our
it.
last podcast, and we have a good cult following. So, but we got to expand it out. So if you guys have any ideas
Got to
for
expand
topics,
the cult.
expand the cult into an organization, then an organization into a movement.
You sound like a Scientologist. You sound like L. Rod Hubbard.
Maybe I am.
L.
Maybe
Ron
little
Hubbard.
alien ghosts came down, planted seeds, and that's where we came from. So you don't know. Actually, I do know. That's freaking nuts. So
We're a Scientology podcast now.
No. If you have any other topics you want us to cover, though, please let us know. We would like to hear from you as well. We're part of the Big Red World podcasting publishing network, too. They're on Twitter at Big Red Social, and their website is bigredworld.org.
Yeah, go follow their other podcasts, too. They have some
Yeah.
pretty good ones on there. House that Rick Built is another good one. Colin Kessler and Zach are on there. So go check that one out from our alma mater of St. Louis University.
Slew babies. Tournament's coming up too, so we're gonna be probably shouting out a couple Billiken people, as we make the tournaments and progress and win the national championship.
Boom.
So, boom. Let's do it.
At least Sweet 16. Come on.
At least, yeah.
It's not
Sweet
that
16.
hard. Like, just
we got to do it. So, but yeah, new episodes from us every Friday. Thanks everybody for listening to another episode. We'll be back again next week.